Welcome to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Braylon Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
Running pattern to Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
Where we bring you the best in sports, entertainment, and insight. Join us every weekday from 2 to 4 p.m. as we break down the latest games, analyze the biggest plays, and dive into the hottest topics in sports. We'll have exclusive interviews with your favorite athletes and guests, and you'll get a front row seat to all the action. So tune in to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Got one-on-one going end zone. Edwards in the air. Oh, what a catch by Braylon Edwards. His second touchdown of the game.
On the Woodward Sports Network, where sports comes to life.
We are super fired up here on a Tuesday with the Braylon Edwards Show. I'm Matt Shepard. Kool-Aid is here. Ricky is here. We are back in studio. This is awesome stuff. I can't wait to play you some of the fantastic sound and the connectivity of the Detroit Lions. Another reason why this team is going to be successful. But speaking of successful, how about Braylon Edwards and his team winning a golf tournament today?
You know what? I know the people don't want to hear about that. They want to hear about Isaac Tesla and Dan Campbell and the sound we have, the training camp, the season, the Detroit Pistons, and all the love that they're getting from the national media that Kool-Aid has shared with us. The Detroit Tigers got another
Kool-Aid
win.
Can't get enough.
Oh, by the way, the Detroit Tigers are 5th in the last 14 games in the MLB. Just like Shep told us, be patient, be kind, be relaxed. So that's what they want to hear about. They don't want to hear about my team going 15 under through 15 holes while I was there. I had to get out because I did have to do a show, hence the name on there with my guy Shep right here.
And it's not, by the way, what he did was not on an easy course.
No, it's not.
I think Northville Hills is challenging.
It's a very challenging course. Like the greens and the topography are very sneaky. It's a lot of tough putts out there. Like a putt that you think, it'll be just a cup out. It's a little bit more than that. It's going to be left to right. Sneaky, it was a straight putt. That's how those greens are. But the good news is I was with Bob Krause, who is one of my golf instructors. Appreciate you, Bob, as well as my guy William Friedman. Both of those guys are touring the handicap. See, I figured out the secret.
Well, there you go.
I figured out but this is what these guys do.
Yeah,
all the
crazy.
outings that I play in, people say, hey, Braylon, this is what the cause is for. We would like you to come out and support. Would you be a celebrity? Not a problem. I love what the cause is. I would support whatever it is, as long as it's something that fits my wheelhouse and morale. They put me on a team with a bunch of bums. A lot of times I'm playing with guys that cannot golf, but they've spent the most money to get my services or to play with a celebrity or to be close to somebody that went to Michigan or in the NFL. So guys end up being great, girls end up being great. It's a great round. But I'm playing with guys that care more about who they're playing with versus can they get the ball on two in 2 shots. So today, I got to pick the team. I got to handpick the guys. So you got 2 sticks playing with you, it brings out the best in you. And me and my father, we hit the putts we had to. We hit the chips we had to. Every once in a while we hit the drive that we had to. So 15.
What'd you win?
I don't know. They're doing all that now. It's still going on.
Okay.
So they're going to get all that. I'm more excited about the skin side of it because I did buy into the skins for $8 for the team. We eagled 1, 2, 3 holes, and then we birdied pretty much everything else.
Wow.
There was a purchase of a 0 on a par 3. So I want you guys to be like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense. I want it. It's fair. It was a fair round. 2 guys that can play really good. We purchased a 0, so
Just about everybody does on those odds. They're going to purchase a 0.
So if you want to hold that against us, if you want to give us a par on that, 1,500.
Yeah, that's pretty damn good. Just real quick, I know people want to get into football, and so do you, and so do I. But
I'm excited back in the studio.
Me too. I love it being back here.
Shout out to
Talk about it.
Ricky's all about the comfort. Actually, I will say this. I love being on remotes because I like meeting people. And it's when you're at a golf course, it's fun to envision your play out there.
Fair.
But I do want to ask you just one quick question about your on hole number 1. It's a dog leg
100%.
right, man.
The tower. You can see the water tower.
That's right. How'd you drive that hole? Because that can be a challenge.
Randomly, I always drive that one well.
Really? Okay.
Randomly, I always drive that well. I play that one to the left of the tower, clip the the tree line. The trees right there. I always go just to the left of those trees.
Bunker in front,
100%. I usually end up just in the rough off the green or on
Off the fairway?
Off the fairway, excuse me. Or on the other side of the fairway fringe.
Good.
Like right around the forward side.
Love it. Well,
100%.
congratulations. I'm happy
Appreciate
for you.
that. I'll have pictures
I
soon.
will say this. You should be pretty damn good for as much golf as you play.
This is fair, and I am not what I should be.
This is fair.
I am
But
not.
you said yesterday you've been playing a lot of scrambles, so it's a little
and I'm
different.
tired
That's a
of
good
it.
point.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
I'm over the scramble.
Yeah.
I'm to the point now where I'm starting to play some better golf on my own. I enjoy hitting my own ball. I enjoy working on my game, pulling out all the clubs in my bag. You get tired of just swinging the driver and go for the fences.
I'm with you.
And here's, you're only using 4 clubs. I've said this the last 4 days. I've been talking about golf. I hate it. I'm swinging out of my shoes. I can't get into any type of rhythm. It weighs on your mental a little bit. So.
Do you ever feel when people want to play with you, which is quite a compliment?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you have to show them something? You have to perform to a certain extent, otherwise you're letting them down.
I still do. I just approach it differently now. Like they want to see, the 6'4", 225-pound guy. They want to see me knock the ball 400 miles, and that's what I used to go to the course for.
Yeah.
I want to get to the course. I want to show you how far I can hit the ball. You drive for sure. Driving means absolutely nothing.
I agree.
I'm to the point where I could care less if I duff one to the left or to the right or hit one down the middle. I don't care. I want them to see me soft hands with the shorter shots, the 60 and in. I want to see soft hands. The putting, I want to see no deceleration in my swing. I want them to see that. So I want them to see the fact that I know the game and I'm respecting the game and trying to get better.
Yeah, I would say the only thing I would say about the driving, at least for me, is that if I'm constantly 200 yards away, this is where I think driving does matter.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting people I play with to mash it over 300 yards because that just doesn't happen very often. I know people think it does, but it really doesn't. But I would like to be, a 6-iron away.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Instead of being a hybrid away.
Yeah, or a 3-wood.
Yeah,
in my case.
Yeah, or a 3-wood. So we'll have to get out there. I'm happy for you. That's awesome. I'm glad you had another warm day. That's back-to-back warm days. I hope you're hydrating because
I'm about to look like Wesley Snipes in a minute.
Yeah.
What's that?
I'm about to look like Wesley Snipes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, man, it's something else out there. Hey, so I had a quick question for everybody.
Right.
As we get rolling,
same hue.
Yeah. As we get rolling a little bit, I got a new neighbor.
Okay.
And I wanted to ask you guys.
That's always sketchy.
New neighbors are tricky.
Well, yeah, I mean, my wife does a great job. She goes next door right away. Hi, welcome. Do you take new neighbors' gifts to welcome them to the neighborhood? And I don't mean wrapping a gift. I'm talking about, hey, here's a bottle of wine. Here's some homemade cookies. Ricky loved my wife's homemade cookies when I brought them in. There we go. Here's some brownies. Is that still a thing? We've done that before. Do you guys believe in that type of welcoming gift, if you will?
It's not a thing anymore. This is a completely different generation than yours. It's a completely different generation than mine. Realistically, they don't do gifts anymore. I would urge people to do that. You know how hard it is to find good neighbors, and you know how easy it is to have a beef with neighbors. Currently in a whole situation with a next door neighbor without too much information, where there's a lawsuit pending.
Oh boy,
there's a lawsuit that was drawn. So to get in situations like that, you don't want to. If you could, help that situation, start off friendly. Go over there, bring whatever it is. It can be a bottle of wine. It's not going to cost you anything more than $14.99, $11.99, $18.99, depending on where you're shopping at. Basket of fruit.
Yeah.
It just shows a gesture like this house next to me, across the street, whatever it is in relation. These people are cool. They get it. I can be cool with these people. And I think you de-arm them. That's all I want. I want people that live in my area that are good people that know I don't mean any harm.
Yeah.
We don't mean any harm.
And if I'm doing something that you don't like, let me know. And if it's all right with you, I'm going to do the same thing. If your dog's barking at 11:30 at night, I'm going to come home and say, hey, do you mind taking him inside? That was my last neighbor. The dog's barking constantly, like from 8:45 till 11 o'clock at night. And it's finally okay.
But the gift allows that. You bring the gift in the initial period, and then you get to the point now where the dog is barking uncontrollably. Week 2 of you being there. If I come over to your house and say, hey, I know you just moved in. No, I remember, Braylon, how you doing? We appreciate the gifts that you got us. I appreciate that. No problem. We want to welcome you in. But Dog's a little loud. You know, I got a routine that I get in.
Yeah.
Now that energy is met with, I didn't come to the door. And this guy tried to tell me, tell the dog to go inside, or he tried to tell me what to do with my animal. No, he came over. He was respectful. He was polite. Put the dog in the basement or whatever what you do with him. I think that's how you get better results. Just a little olive branch in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, how you'd want to be treated. I would guess Ricky does that. Ricky would be the kind of guy, I think, who would have more of a tendency to go next door and say, hey, man, just want to welcome you to the neighborhood.
I'm yes and no at the same time. So my neighbors, I have dope neighbors. I know my neighbors, especially with the kids. We all know each other. My neighbor next door is a single guy. He's super cool. We text and stuff like that. But my neighbors on the other side, when they first moved in, they didn't completely move in. They were doing a bunch of construction, but they would do it at night. And I had a newborn at the time. So we didn't know who actually lived there because there was people going in and out. So now they live there, and we still haven't went over there because my wife has been so mad at how many times they woke up my daughter. So I'm kind of in the same boat as you, and I've never spoken. Like, we walk past each other all the time. We literally share a driveway and don't talk.
Really?
Yeah, but neighbor on the other side and across the street, super cool. Both named Dan.
What's it going to take for you to extend, as Braylon put, expend that olive branch and talk to him?
I don't know, some situation to where I can't avoid not speaking to him.
I know that.
surprises me a little bit. 'Cause, I mean, Ricky's just a fun-loving guy.
Yeah,
I never knew Ricky
but-
till I got here. And he was
cool
just like,
as cat.
hey, man, what's going on? How are you? I'm Ricky. Oh, hey, Ricky Burns. Good to see you, man.
Can I say this without saying too much, Ricky?
What?
I know the area, if that's fair enough to say, that Ricky lives in.
Yeah.
Leave it at that. It's an interesting area. It has interesting people.
Shep grew up there.
Like-
I'll say where.
What?
I'm okay with saying where I live.
You said what?
I say I'm okay with saying where I
Oh,
live.
are you in the hills?
Yeah.
Oh,
You said
okay.
white?
Yeah.
I say I'm okay. I'm okay with saying where I live.
He's in the hills.
Oh, right,
Shep
right,
grew
right.
up there too.
Yeah.
True, I know that, but like our area specifically where we're at, it's you can get in 5 houses, you can get 5 completely different energies.
Oh, yes,
energies in which
100%.
you don't want to speak to, energies that don't make you feel like you can extend that olive branch, and it's on a day-to-day basis. Like it's an interesting area, if you will. So that's why I'm saying, to his point,
Yeah.
why he hasn't done it yet. That energy, and where you gotta feel something to do it. Like, you gotta feel
100%.
something welcoming enough for you to say, you know what, this basket is gonna be okay, or this bottle of wine is gonna be okay, or whatever you want to bring.
I get it.
If you don't feel that energy, I don't care how nice you are, I don't care how good of a person you are. If you don't get that energy, I don't want to
See,
open myself up to an
that
energy.
is a
for
way better way to say it. Yeah,
Yeah, I
like
don't disagree with that.
The
Yeah.
energy is different because, like I say, across the street is cool there. The neighbors diagonal don't like them. No, just have don't get the vibe. There's another couple on this older guy the other way. First time I ever met him, tried to walk in my backyard when I was getting trees cut down. Don't talk to him. That was weird. Like, it's literally, like you said, it's a house by house basis for me.
Yeah, it's it can be a very interesting scenario when you're in those. What we did is we immediately said, because we had 2 new neighbors move in, we said, okay, we're gonna have just a little gathering at our house.
There you go.
So we invited 3 couples, okay, 2 of who were new, and we just wanted to say, hey, just appetizers and drinks. Just wanted to say hello to everybody, and not that we see eye to eye on everything, but at least we're still cordial. At least we're still friendly. 2 couples for sure we're really friends with.
Yeah.
And we do quite a bit with them, and I think that helped open that door.
Right.
If you don't take the step, if you don't take that first step, then you're asking or expecting the other people to do that, and that might be a little bit of a challenge. And if you take that first step and it doesn't work out, at least you tried. Is the way I kind of look at it.
The next door neighbor situation I was talking about, and I was talking about how you can have a different house. Like, there's one neighbor to our, it doesn't matter, one neighbor next to us, nice guy, never see him, he's a pilot. Like, I don't know anything about him outside. He's a pilot for a Delta. Never see him, don't know what he is outside of that.
But you said nice guy. You said
super,
he's
nice guy.
Super nice.
Nice guy. Our house,
Yep.
fun loving, we're great energy. It's what we are. The very next house is a house that sued us over land, which we're in a case about that now, straight a-hole. Same guy that we used to be friends with, come in the backyard, tell us about how much he loved Dipset because he went to Maryland and this song was popular. He and his
Such
wife.
a random fact to tell.
Well,
Braylon
because
Edwards.
now you know what I'm going with. He and his
I got a whole
wife.
track list in my head
And,
now, bro.
husband and
Yeah, I
wife,
like
super
Dipset.
cool. But that's how we introduced ourselves, so you already know what it was.
Yeah.
Then got
I
cool
want nothing
enough
to
to
do with
invite
it.
us to the wedding, to the baby shower, in which we went to the baby shower event. This is a great event, baby shower event. Thought we were cool. And then a few months later, here comes a lawsuit. Wow. And then the house next to him is a lady you never see. Overweight lady, struggles with some anxiety, maybe some depression, never cuts her grass. Like, the house is a complete mess. Oh, but the city, as well as him, they don't talk to her. And she has her ways, if you will. Like, it's just an interesting hodgepodge.
Yeah, quite a dynamic. Yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes, and I'll report back. All right? We'll see what happens with it.
Maybe I should extend the olive branch.
I keep trying to get them to come over to, indulge in some adult smoke. They don't want that smoke.
Chill them out a little bit, right?
That make me mellow them out a little bit.
That's the smoke they need.
Exactly.
I tell you what, if you bring Braylon with you and introduce yourself to the neighbor you don't talk to, that might cut that thick air, if you will, with them pretty quick.
No, but then he expect me to bring people over all the time.
Well, that could be.
All my other friends are just normal guys.
Hey man, all you gotta do is say, "I'm Ricky Burns Radio, man." That's all that really matters. You
hey, who's that? I'm like, no, that's just Jeremy. Don't worry about that.
You don't be hanging with Calvin,
right?
That's coming next.
What other friends you got? Like that?
Calvin, Amon-Ra, same, bro. I be all the receivers like each other.
Oh, well, speaking of that, there is a receiver who's turning some heads, more heads in Lions camp that we want to get to and talk about. And we will do that on the Braylon Edwards Show after we talk more about Ven Johnson.
I'll tell you a little bit about Ven Johnson. Justice, it means different things to different people. But for Ven Johnson, look, it means a chance to get you what you deserve and what you need. Let Ven fight for you because he is the fighter. VenFights.com. That's what you can go to and check them out. Check the practice out and see what they are all about. If you've got a case, contact the fighters at Ven Johnson Law today and get the justice you deserve, as I stated. Tough, tenacious trial lawyers. That's what they are. That's what they do. Ven Johnson, reason why we partner with them, because we want them to fight for you like they'll fight for us.
And if you're looking to upgrade your relaxation game, check out Massage Chair House in Bloomfield Hills today. Make sure you go, man. It's the largest massage chair showroom in the Midwest with top brands of massage chairs like Infinity and Osaki. They are located on the corner of Woodward and Long Lake Road, right down the street from our studios. Experience luxury comfort with Dr. Eric Duncan. He's the wellness doc, creator of the top YouTube massage chair review channel. Book your visit today, massagechairhouse.com, or you can just scan that QR code. It's above my head. Yeah, it's right there. Scan the QR code, man. Massage Chair House, your ticket to the ultimate recovery and relaxation.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. VenFights.com.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Head to WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Are you tired of wearing the same old Detroit sports merch? It's a new era in sports wearables, new designs, amazing apparel, and that ultimate swag, man. Check out Woodward Sports latest gear at woodwardsports.com. Make sure you click shop. We got hoodies, tees, and hats that are guaranteed to turn heads. So get the latest designs today at woodwardsports.com. And again, make sure you're clicking shop.
We are going to load you up with football discussion today. I promise you. Okay, we're gonna hear from John Morton, the offensive coordinator for Lions, Dan Campbell, the head coach, Penei Sewell, the right tackle. Braylon is super excited to talk about it. I can't wait for you to hear it, but I first want you to hear about Les Stanford, Buick GMC. Great offers for everybody with all kinds of different budgets. I know. Some we think, well, $599 a month plus tax might be a little steep for me. That's the 2025 Hummer EV SUT lease. It's a hell of a deal right now. Or the 2025 Hummer EV SUV lease special, $699 a month. But if your budget's a little tighter, they've got you covered there. How about the 2025 Sierra Double Cab Elevation Lease Special? It's only $169 a month. That's a badass looking truck. You would look really good in it. You would feel safe in it, and people would turn their heads. Get to Les Stanford today. Check out their massive inventory. Les Stanford, Buick, and GMC. For all these specials, go to lesstanford.com.
And we back.
Okay. There are so many different storylines in NFL camps. As I used to prepare for Lions football, it would be, you're trying to talk to 90 guys, and you're trying to get the backstory of just about everyone, because those are the things you bring up, at least I always felt, those are the things you bring up during a telecast. There are certain numbers of guys, though, that really stand out. And one of the guys who stands out right now is Isaac TeSlaa. And it's not just because he's from the state of Michigan, not because he just played at Hillsdale and went D2 to D1 to Arkansas, and not just because he's a third-round pick. It's because he has performed. You don't give things to players if the player isn't ready to receive it. I remember the story of Jim Leland in 2006 when Justin Verlander and Joel Zumaya were having great camps. And people said, are you really going to take those guys north? Or he said, if I don't, I lose the room. If I don't take those guys to Comerica Park, then every player will be looking at me and like, what the hell do you have to do? Yeah. Now, this guy's going to make the team. That's obvious. And I love this picture because if you notice, the finger on the football is just like Braylon Edwards' finger on the football when he was with the Jets. And he showed us last week.
I would actually say,
that finger's still like that.
I would actually say his actually is a little bit better because the 4 points of pressure, he's actually got the last one. See, he's got the ball into the bicep, and also you don't see the ball. It's on the forearm. It's on the bicep. He's got the point of the football, and he's got it against the body. He's got all 4 points. On that picture, I kind of had a little bit loose as it was next to the bicep. You can see a little bit of space in there, but this is perfect.
Hey, shout out to Braylon keeping it real.
It's a great looking. The only problem with the picture is you should be 17 instead of 18. But let's not get too critical.
I don't know if he's ready for 17 yet. I don't know if he's ready for 17 yet. I like 18 on that. It's a good looking number.
Did Braylon just say be easy?
Hey, that's the original.
Hey.
I don't say it because I let Easy. Shout out to the heavyweights. 5 to 7 every day. I let him have Easy, so I don't say anymore. But I'm Be Easy. It goes back to middle school.
All the way back there.
It does.
Okay. Well, he has, he's going to make this team. The question is whether or not he's going to start from day one. It wouldn't surprise me if he did, but they are raving about him in camp.
They're raving about him because he's making plays. One of the biggest things that, when we were talking about is I love Shep standing up. That's a good vibe right there. That's good energy.
Looks like I'm still sitting down when Braylon's so big.
My bad. I didn't mean to point that out. You want to see players that get drafted in the mid-rounds. You want to see them make plays. When given opportunities to go against the ones, go against a Terrion Arnold, go against a DJ Reed, go against Amik Robinson, go against whoever, you want to see him make plays. You want to see him stand out, and he's been doing that all camp long. And then once the preseason starts, we're going to put you in there and give you opportunity to make a play. He's got 2 touchdowns in 2 games. Mm-hmm. He's got
Do you guys recognize it? I mean, is it very similar to the story I just told about Leland and Verlander and Zumaya? Are you guys, when you're at camp, you recognize certain players standing out?
100%. You can see the guys that are getting better. You can see the guys that want to make a play. Because at first, you just want to see a guy make a play. You don't care if, just go in there. If your lineup wrong, you don't get your depth, you may even run the wrong route. Can you make a play? The ball's in the air. Do you take the ball? Do you make a play? Do you get the first down? Do you get in the end zone? We can fix the little things. Do you play full speed? Are you coachable? When we tell you something, hey, that route is 18 yards coming back to 16. Are you getting 16 and coming back to 14? And then after we tell you, are you getting 16 and coming back to 14, or now you're getting the 18 yards? And I think you've seen a mixture of that from Isaac TeSlaa. Side note, same birthday as Justin Verlander, since you brought up Justin Verlander, February 20th.
Didn't know that.
I'm February 21st, so I tend to keep a close eye.
I like that. Good
on all
job.
the February
Hey.
babies. Michael Jordan, you know what I'm saying, 17th. Anyway, but he's getting better each day in practice. In the games, he's getting better. I saw him look a little better, look a little more polished, running routes. So that's what you want to see. It still is early. I don't think he'll be starting day one. I don't think he'll start by the time game 4 happens. I think it is still Tim Patrick. Tim Patrick is a damn good number 3 in this league. That's why they chose to retain him. And I don't think you can understate the relationship that Jared Goff and Tim Patrick built last year. Jared Goff is one. It takes a second for Jared Goff to trust you.
And he hasn't played with at least during preseason games. 100%. He has during practice, but he hasn't played with them.
And so I think that will take some time. But just what you want to see out of him, out of Arkansas, a guy that didn't necessarily start, wasn't taking all the reps, wasn't a guy that was the feature, but made a lot of plays. Now can you take the playmaking ability that you had at Arkansas? Can you take that, and now can you put some route running with it? Can you put some concept knowledge with it? And I think that's what this process is for him.
Why does the 2 yards matter? You said, are you running at 18 and coming back to 16, or are you running at 16 coming back to 14? Why is that 2 yardage difference a big deal to people?
Because that 18 yards versus that 16 yards, not only does it get you a catch, and it gets you a first down, which extends the drive, extends Jared Goff, extends Johnny Morton's opportunities to call some plays for Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. It's also not a pick. It's also not a linebacker stepping into a window because you came too short. Now you're supposed to be at 18, you're at 16. The linebacker dropped a little bit, so now he's in that window, now he's getting a pick. Or the safety read it, saw your body language, and didn't believe that you were going to go deeper, so he cut the route. Now you got a pick 6. So that depth is very crucial to the quarterback. And if you can't get your depth as a wide receiver, guess who's not throwing you the ball? Guess who's not going to play you? So it's very important to be able to get your depth because you help the quarterback and the offense.
It's a domino effect. That's a really
100%.
good explanation. Speaking of playing him, Dan Campbell and John Morton will be in charge of deciding that. Scotty Montgomery, too, the wide receivers coach, who one of the many things, and then we'll get to the Dan Campbell soundbite on Isaac TeSlaa. One of the many things I like about Dan Campbell, and I think this stems from him being assistant coach too, and probably being a tight end who, let's face it, they don't get a lot of love usually, at least when he played. The love came to the guys like you who are wide receivers.
He wasn't the type of tight end to get the love. Like back when he played, you're talking about a different type of tight end. Dallas Clark was getting that love. Tony Gonzalez was getting it. Antonio Gates, shout out to him, Detroit Hall of Fame now. Those were the guys that were getting the love.
Dan Campbell's a blocking tight end as much as anything else.
And here, by the way, he's in 3rd and goal. We're not expecting anything.
Jumbo package.
Here's a little play action, a little pop pass. That's how they catch their touchdowns. Catch you off guard.
Right. Yeah. He's not beating anybody on any type of seam route. But the thing I like about him is his willingness to recognize his assistant coaches. He's done a great job of that, and I think the coaches appreciate that. When we talk about players wanting to play for a guy, and I think you're the kind of guy who would want to play for a Dan Campbell-like coach, but how about the coaches who want to coach for a guy? Because he's making sure they get their flowers. He's saying to Kelvin Shepard, hey, don't you dare cut those dreads. You be who you are. John Morton's a smart guy. I trust him. He talks about Scotty Montgomery and the influence that he has on the wide receivers already, and I bet you that makes a big deal to them too, because eventually, Braylon, they want jobs. They want head coaching gigs. How do you get head coaching gigs? You got to be recognized, and Dan Campbell helps them in that regard, I think.
First of all, you got to coach. You got to be able to do. You got to do your job. Like Scotty Montgomery went from the running back room to the wide receivers room. You got to do your job. You have to make sure that the wide receivers, especially the younger ones, the Levettes, the TeSlaas, you got to make sure that they're prepared. When they step on the practice field, they know the install, they know what the plays are, they know the depth, they know the routes, know the things. That's what your job is, to prepare. Everybody asking, how is a running back coach going to help the receivers? At the end of the day, receivers, you got to this level. You're in the NFL now. You're a professional enough to get drafted, to get picked up, to get brought in, to be in this room, to have this success. All the coach is there to do is to teach you the concepts. This is how Johnny Mo plans for you to execute this offense. This is what number 16 is expecting. So that's what he teaches. When you have an all-pro wide receiver room in Amon-Ra St. Brown, when you have an ascending wide receiver who's learned under Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams, and oh, by the way, you know what he is, and then Tim Patrick, et cetera, they're the guys kind of helping the young guys in this room. Yeah. Amon-Ra is the leader of that room. You don't need Scotty Montgomery to come in and be some, former wide receiver that can coach you like Marvin Harris. You don't need that. You just need concepts. He's there for that, and you need a leader of men. And that's what he's been. Dan Campbell empowers his coaches. And it's important because
that's a bar.
If the players see that Dan Campbell is saying this and believe this, now they have to trust that, well, I know I believe in the head, man. I know I trust in Dan Campbell and I'm excited to be here. So I have to trust that what he's telling me about my coach is true, especially if I see it.
Yeah, and I love the fact that there's other players helping them as well. Great soundbite, and I mean a great. I try not to use that word very often, from Giovanni Manu, who was talking about the assistance that Aiden Hutchinson gives him. Yeah. And it's one of the many things I love about the Lions. But we'll get to that coming up. But first, Dan Campbell on Isaac Tesla and the impact that he's made on this coaching staff and this team so far.
Did well. Thought he played better than he did the first week. And I would say ever since we put pads on, he's been trending this way. So that's a good sign, is that you're getting better with pads on than the pajamas. So that was awesome. He's doing well, man. He blocks on the perimeter. He's making big catches over the top of people. He's going up. His route detail is getting that much better. Scotty's doing a heck of a job with him and all those guys. So he's growing. Yeah, that's more than this. It's more like this.
Right there. See, he mentioned Scotty Montgomery again.
100%.
I love that.
Yeah. 100%, and I appreciate that. And I know the wide receivers appreciate that as well. Now they can tap into their coach, and he's getting the just due, and he's getting the love. That's also how you get the elevation. That's also how other coaches around the league, when they're looking, we're looking for a new offensive coordinator. Who are the new hot names? Who are the new positions? Who are the guys that are good leaders of their position room that we may elevate? That's how you get that.
You know what I really like about Dan Campbell, and it seems like his staff, and I'm not going to claim to know him, okay? I know a lot of Lions coaches in the past, but he seems very secure in his job in the sense that he's giving the responsibility, and that's an important word, the responsibility to the right guys. In the past, we've seen certain coaches, I don't know if it's Jimmy Johnson, I don't know if it's Sean McVay, I don't know if it's Sean Payton, Bill Parcells, who are afraid to relinquish the type of say in a game plan or how a team is built because they wanted to be that guy. He seems like a guy who's willing to say, you know what, I'm going to have that final say, but I trust John Morton, I trust Kelvin Shepard, I trust my coaches to make the right choices.
Yeah, I think those guys had trust issues because they're such savants at whatever side of the ball they're good at. For Bill Parcells, it was the defensive side of the ball. For Sean McVay, it's the offensive side of the ball. They're savants. They're savants, and they have the mentality, if I don't do it, it's not going to get done the right way. Yeah. And they don't want to relinquish that trust. The good news about Dan Campbell is, one, in terms of that confidence, and he feels like he's not going anywhere. There was a long conversation I had with he and Sheila Hamp before he even got that job. He sat down, they talked ad nauseum about what the plan was, what it was going to look like, how long I have. Don't give me 2 years and make this thing anxious. Don't give me time. That's the thing he said. He said it's going to take 3 years, his very first press conference. And I think Sheila Hamp gave him that time. When you give someone that time, you feel very comfortable. Now I can bring in the right people, going back to the conversation. He is not the savant that Bill Parcells is. No disrespect to the big man. No disrespect. He's not the savant that Sean McVay is on the offensive side of the ball. And what that has allowed him to do over the years, he knows who he is, which is not the smartest man in the room, which is nothing wrong with that, because the people that can realize that, those are the people that are going to be very successful. And he's done that since his whole time in 2021 in bringing people in. You know what? I don't know offense. I don't think Anthony Lynn does either. Let me figure this out, figure out a system. He did that. Defensive coordinator, no smoke. You know what that was from jump. I think he has an innate ability to know what he does not know, doesn't care about being the smartest person in the room. Who is that person? Let me empower my offense with Kelvin Shepard. Let me empower my defense. Let me empower my offense with Johnny Moe, who I vetted, who I've had in the room, who I know the players respond to, who will get the best out of Jared Goff, who will get the best out of the coaches. because that's what you're doing. I think he does a really good job of that. And so far, that's one of the things for Dan Campbell. You can't argue. No one can argue the fact that he hires damn well, and he does not mind getting rid of you if you're not doing your job.
That's what great leaders do.
How many
great leaders hire really good people,
Yeah.
dare I say great people, and let them do their jobs.
Let them cook with grease.
That's the reason they hired him in the first place. Dan Campbell has done that. He's elevated guys from within. That's a big deal if they've earned it.
Yeah.
And he lets them do what they're supposed to do. The trust factor is without no question that the trust factor is there from him and his staff.
The best thing I like about this Kool-Aid, tell me if you agree or not. I like the fact that Dan Campbell is confident enough with himself. Do you know how many times I saw coaches like worrying about other coaches on that staff because those other coaches were probably in line for a job, whether it was offensive coach, whether it was a quarterback's coach, whether it was a wide receivers coach, whether it was a linebackers coach. Like, they didn't allow those guys to fully do their job. Damn sure not those coordinators, because you risk the chance. I don't want them to leave me.
Oh, I hate that mentality.
I don't want
or
them
I don't
to
want
leave.
them to take my place.
I don't want them to take my. That's the one. That's the one. I don't want them to take that place. I saw that in Cleveland. I saw that to an extent. I saw it in New York. Didn't see it in Seattle because Seattle, Pete had the same mindset as Dan Campbell. Like, I'm good. I'm safe in my job. I want you guys.
I'm secure.
Because Dan knows if they have no hampering, no interference, they can be in their own space, their own zone. They feel comfortable, and now they can be the best coaches for this team. It ain't about ego. It's not about who gets the credit.
Right.
Like, Dan didn't care that Ben Johnson was running around getting all this credit, and they were calling him the boy wonder and this, that, and the third.
He's so secure in
what was his offense looking like at the time? The best offense in the NFL.
Yeah.
And that's more so.
Everybody wins in that situation.
When you win, everybody eats, B.
Everybody
eats. Lloyd Carr said it all the time. He said, when the team wins, everybody wins. I didn't understand that as a freshman. I didn't understand that as a sophomore. But when we won the Big Ten my junior year, and I saw how many first-team All-Big Teners we had, when I saw how many All-Americans we had, when I saw Chris Perry finish third in the Heisman that year, I was able to understand, when the team wins, everybody wins. And that's what Dan cares. Dan doesn't care about the egocentric things. Dan doesn't. We care about Coach of the Year. Dan Campbell don't care about Coach of the Year.
We talk about it all the time. I mean,
Man,
unless
don't
there's
care about
something in a
it.
contract. There might be something in a contract that says if I get Coach of the Year, I get an extra $500,000 or something. Maybe. I don't know.
It's more. It's probably 1.5.
Yeah, something like that. How did you recognize it when you played? And what did that do to the uneasiness of a room and or a team?
Because the energy is off. Like, it sucks being in a hallway, and for me it was different. But let's just say Allen Park. It sucks being in a hallway in Rotunda, and you're walking with your wide receivers coach, and your offensive coordinator walks right by that doesn't say anything to him.
Oh.
It sucks when coaches don't talk. It sucks when you're looking at the head coach that wants to say something to his offensive coordinator, but just doesn't. And it is a miserable place to be in. I've been there multiple times where you just like, oh, here we go. And you know early on in the week, and you know what that's going to be like. So when you have coaches that are cool, they work with each other, they talk with one another, they share notes with one another because everybody is about the team and the winning, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I love that. I really do. I think it's the part of the reason for their success.
I had a wide receivers coach in Seattle that wouldn't, like, he was so scared to coach. He was so scared to get it wrong because he didn't want to get fired. I was like, well, you're going to get fired because you're getting it wrong quite often because you don't want to have a conversation with your OC. Was it Darryl Bevel? Darryl Bevel was an offensive coordinator when I was in Seattle, and my wide receivers coach, he was just, it was interesting.
Darryl Bevel out of Wisconsin, right?
100%.
Yeah, played quarterback at Wisconsin.
Big Ten guy.
All right. Well, we were talking about Isaac Tesla. Really good and insightful comment from Penei Sewell. He sat down with somebody on ESPN recently, and they asked him about the rookie. Listen to what the one of, if not the best, right tackle in the National Football League had to say about a third-round pick.
Tesla. Explain why. I like the way he plays physical. I'm not even talking about the receiving him catching. That man can block, and I like the way he attacks that aspect of the game. Really ready to put his head down and go in there and hit somebody.
No block, no rock, right?
I mean, you said it.
That's how it goes.
He's not even talking about his receiving skills. Now, it's a lineman, so maybe it's a little different. How many linemen used to come up to you and say, "Hey, man, great block. Appreciate how you're doing. How you've got the entire game." Things of that nature. Do you think linemen were recognizing that with with you when you were playing?
All of them, because I was a big wide receiver, physical wide receiver, and I hung my hat on blocking. I learned that from Lloyd Carr. The fastest way to get a compliment from the coaching staff is block. It's to do something that your job doesn't call for. Like, my job is catching touchdowns and passes and first downs. You go out there and lay out a safety. You go out there and smack a linebacker. Now your running back can get on the outside edge and gets another 20 yards, maybe even breaks one and go long. Remember the long run that David Montgomery had against the Los Angeles Chargers? Was it 2-3 years ago? All we talked about was Amon-Ra St. Brown on that play. We didn't even talk about David Montgomery's run. It's a 77-yard run on the road. All we could talk about. Yeah. Did you see Amon-Ra St. Brown finish that play? That gets offensive linemen going because it says that I care about the team. I don't just care about catching passes and being the diva that is associated with the position. I don't mind going there and mixing it up, and they love it. I used to love hanging out with the line, like Damian Woody. I still talk to Damian Woody at least 2-3 times a week. What's going on? You know, shout out to him. He's on the 4 letters that you just saw in that interview. But I love that energy. But they love it because it says you're selfless and unselfish.
Right. That's what linemen are.
100%, because that's the job, the big uglies. That's the job they have. Is a very selfless job. Going here and fighting these trenches against monsters like Chris Johnson and Aaron Donald, and the list goes on. So when they see a wide receiver or they see a running back step in there, when you see Jahmyr Gibbs, oh, shoot, here comes Fred Warner. He's free. What am I going to do? You know what? I'm going to go in there and sacrifice my body, pick up the blitz so Jared doesn't get hit. We get a pass down the field. I worry about the headache that I have tomorrow, after we win. It's selflessness. And I think that's what linemen appreciate about Isaac Tesla, the physicality and him willing to be able to, hey, look, whatever. Throw me the ball later. Let me block for you. Let me help you out.
Well, speaking of Penei Sewell, it's going to be part of Braylon's breakdown tomorrow, so you're going to want to watch that.
I can't wait for this
3 o'clock. Braylon's breakdown will focus on Penei Sewell and some others. So make sure you're tuning in to the Braylon Edwards Show tomorrow, 3 o'clock. We will have it for you right here on the Braylon Edwards Show. All right, we've got to take a quick time out. John Morton has, speaking of wide receivers, John Morton has come out and compared one Lions wide receiver to another great that he coached in the past. We'll tell you who that is and get Braylon's thoughts on it right after this from Jack's Car Wash.
Looking for a sparkling, clean ride? Woodward Sports and Jack's Car Wash have partnered to hook you up with a free car wash. Check that out. You can get yourself a free car wash. All you have to do is just text WSN to 888-522-1729 and enjoy a top-tier service with free vacuums, compressed air, and matte cleaning rooms at select locations. Now check it out. Today, it's a beautiful day outside, right? It's a beautiful day. It's a great day to get a car wash. You go out there, you get a car wash. Car is shining, looking real good. But here comes 6 o'clock. Ladies and gentlemen, it's supposed to rain at 6 o'clock. It's going to rain all over that new car wash that you just got. But if you have the unlimited plan with Jack's, you know what you can do? You come in tomorrow and you get another car wash. You can come in the following day and get another car wash. You can come in the following day and get another car wash for free because it is a part of the unlimited plan for $30 a month. That's not bad. www.jackscarwash.com. Look for a location near you.
I hate that they put the W's in. I don't know why that bothers me. I don't know why. A lot of good betting going on, man. NFL's just taking off. The WNBA betting is up. They don't like it, but it is up. Caesar Sportsbook, you can bet on whatever you want right now. And if your first bet doesn't hit, you can get between $20 and $1,000 right back, man. Scan that QR code or enter the code Woodward 1000. And again, your first bet doesn't hit, you'll get that right back, man. Download that Caesar Sportsbook app. It is the official app of Woodward Sports. Use the code Woodward 1000 or scan that QR code on the screen so you can get your first bet back up to $1,000. So good luck.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
So, you're a Detroit sports fan, huh? Well then, make sure you subscribe to all the Woodward sports pages on YouTube. We have Woodward Baseball, Woodward Pistons, and of course, Woodward Hockey. Get breakdowns, updates, and bonus coverage of all things Detroit. So pick your favorite sport and follow along with the best Detroit sports coverage ever made. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at woodwardsports.com.
There we go. The Injury Insider. Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert injury insight sports from Dr. Jeff Pitts of Michigan Sports and Spine. Side note, I played with the TaylorMades that he had in the outing last week and hit them pretty far. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy, as well as Thursdays with us on the Braylon Network Show with Shep. A little bit of list right there. Scan the QR code above my head. Dr. Pierce wants to make sure you are right. Whatever diagnosis you need, he will be the one to provide it for you. Doesn't matter if you're a former athlete like myself or if you're a golf aficionado and extraordinaire like the man to my left, Matt Shepard. It doesn't matter what you are, he can get you right. Trust the guy that we trust. And that's Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine.
See, Braylon went golfing earlier today, so he ate at an outing, which is awesome. I was out doing some various things. I didn't get a chance to eat, so I had to brown bag it a little bit. What I was really hoping for is that Ricky and Kool-Aid and Noah were all able to negotiate something with Buddies that would bring us the Brisket Buddies Pizza. Brew wouldn't be bad either. The barbecue chicken salad would be welcoming for sure. It's all right there at your neighborhood Buddies or buddiespizza.com. Now you might be saying, Shep, why don't you just go to the website and order it yourself? That's exactly what Noah said. And I said, that's a smart idea. I'm too cheap to do it. I would like you to go pick it up if you don't mind. Don't forget, Buddies is more than pizza. They've got the smash stacks too. So that's where the real tough decision for me was, do I want pizza in between these commercial breaks, or do I want Buddies smash stacks, the burgers done Detroit style? I was kind of inching toward the latter, and then you look at that barbecue pizza and you look at that barbecue chicken salad and you think to yourself, I want that. Either way, you can't go wrong. You go to buddiespizza.com. It's only at Buddies Pizza.
Interns now got it good, man. Back when I was an intern, they just look you dead in the face and be like, boy, I sure am hungry.
And that was it.
That was it.
You had to figure it out.
That was it.
Let me ask you a question. Yeah. Is Ricky turning old man on us because he's saying, back when I interned?
Yeah.
Back in the day?
That's what's
getting to that point. Yeah, I got 2 kids, Shep. What you mean? That's true. I need to grow up sometime.
That's crazy stuff, man.
Growing up is great.
It's come that far, and it's come, and yet I bet you it feels pretty quick. All right, John Morton is in an interesting spot because John Morton is the new offensive coordinator. He's got to take over, and everybody's talked about Ben Johnson and how much they love Ben Johnson, and look at how great this offense was. And Ben Johnson deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah.
Because the offense was historic in Lions history, and really, to a certain extent, in some categories, NFL history.
Yeah.
It was the reason the
You're preaching to
Lions.
the choir over here.
Is it fair to say that it's probably the primary reason the Lions were on so many national television games? Yes. People couldn't wait when Tom Brady is on a broadcast saying, I would love to quarterback this team because of its offense. That's saying an awful lot.
Yeah, 100%. One of the things my dad said, and I think people pay attention to that. Yes, Ben Johnson was really good at how he dialed plays up. Yes, Ben Johnson created a new system here, and he had some new things grooving and shaking with the players that he had. But he dialed up plays at the right time.
Right.
The timing part is what people don't pay attention to what Ben did the last 2 years with the Lions. He dialed up some great plays, and not only that, trick plays. It's one thing to do a trick play. I ran a ton of trick plays in my 9 years in the league, 4 years in Michigan, 13 years of college. A lot of trick plays. You know what I mean? It actually worked.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it got to the point with the Detroit Lions, not only did we know he was going to call 3 to 4 a game, he's going to hit on 75% of them. Some games like Green Bay, you do 3, you hit 3. So I think that's something that we've never seen in the NFL before, is how well-timed trick plays were, and then how the success rate was, because he was 75% or more. So that's something that you got to give the man credit.
Yeah,
for.
if you'd like to get one back, it would be the Jamison Williams pass against Washington that was a pick and
horrible play.
Horrible play. Not just because it didn't work. It's just because
horrible decision.
Jamison Williams hadn't thrown a pass in the NFL. It was just it was wrong time. But look,
he's got 2 of those. Him and the one and the Penei Sewell one. Those are the only 2 where you're like, what the F were you doing? Outside of that,
everything else pretty damn good.
Thanks.
No, I don't disagree. I mean, when especially when Dan Skipper is celebrating a touchdown pass, everybody loves it, right? Yeah. Well, John Morton comes into a situation where it's going to be a bit of a challenge to win people over. Not his players, but I think fans and members of the media. They're going to be watching him as closely as anybody would watch maybe a first-year head coach in certain situations. He was recently asked, it's a really good interview, recently asked about the biggest tough guy that he has ever coached. It's a former Lion, even though John Morton didn't coach him as a Lion. This is what he had to say and who he compares him to as a Lion now.
No. Loading up right now.
Getting close. John, okay. I want to hear from John more. I'll be interested in talking to him when he had some time. We had some time, set it up or something. But he was a very interesting coach that I had. I spent just a season with him with the San Francisco.
What did you like about him, and what made you wonder?
His attention to detail is something that I appreciated. By the time I got to the 49ers, you're talking about, I was in my 7th season. Okay. So by then I'm a little older. I'm able to understand preparation, and I'm able to understand attention to detail and how it helps you as a player prepare for your week. And he was on top of things. He made sure we had all the information. He made sure that we had it as exactly like Greg Roman, who was our offensive coordinator at the time, spent some time with the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson. He was able to tell us this is exactly how he wants to coach it. This is what I see. Here's where you can maybe add a little of your own personality to some plays. This is Michael Crabtree. Him and Michael used to do this, but I think they got into a rhythm. They got into a space. Obviously, you saw them have success later in the season as we were this close from getting to the Super Bowl. A drop punt in the NFC Championship game delayed us, but his attention to detail and his ability to be able to talk to different kinds of players. Because what
do you mean by that?
Just because you're a wide receiver don't mean you're the same. Like, I'm not the same as Santonio Holmes. It's not the same as Amon-Ra St. Brown. It's not the same as Calvin Johnson. It's not the same as Michael Crabtree. It's not the same as Joe Hastings, who was a scout team receiver, if you will, also used to coach up at Michigan. So there's different types of bodies, different types of wide receivers, and different personalities. He was able to do a good job in balancing all the personalities and actually be able to coach a Santonio Holmes, who's a quicker guy, who's going to run certain routes, be able to coach a Braylon Edwards, who's a bigger guy, going to be on the outside, going to come in and do a lot of motioning, blocking plays, working on depth, working on where you're supposed to be on the outside upfield shoulder of a insert or outside linebacker here. He was very good at being able to conversate with different players and very good at attention to detail. He doesn't mind putting in the work.
So how does a coach, I'm fascinated by that, how does a coach go about that with you as a receiver and trying to gain your trust that he's prepared and will make sure you're prepared? Give us an idea of what he's doing about that. It's got to be more than just, hey, this is a tendency here and there. It's got to be a little bit more detailed than that.
I think he takes the time to get to know you. Like, he took the time to get to know me. He compared his, he had Central Michigan roots. That's where he played wide receiver at. So he had the Central thing going on. My brother was at Central at the time. I'm from Michigan. You kind of build a little bit of a relationship. I think players are naturally walls up on coaches. I think just naturally, your walls up on a coach. Like, they got this guy Johnny Moe. Who is this guy? Who does he think he is? And then slowly but surely, what they do to de-arm you, now you're going from who is this guy to what is he talking about? Oh, shoot, this is working. All right, cool. So he de-armed me. He found that common ground, if you will. Was cool a little bit. Wide receivers are fun. Like, we're one of those rooms to crack jokes. We're silly. We're goofy. So you kind of play to that a little bit. Oh, he lets us have fun too. Here's another check for Johnny Moe. Okay, I like this guy a little bit. And then you start dialing into the things. Like, do you know what the hell you're talking about?
How important was it for him to allow you guys a little bit of freedom on your routes?
You got to allow freedom. Like, football is an art. Yeah, sport is an art, and wide receiver is one of those positions where it's an art. It's an artsy position. You know, you look at the outside. Your job is to run a slant. Okay, you got 3 steps, break. Quarterback's gonna put the ball on you. How you get to that spot is the freedom that a good coach can allow you, as opposed to being like some of the coaches I had, which were 1, 2, 3, plant. No. We didn't ask you to do all the extra stuff on the outside. No. Too many moves at the line of scrimmage. No. If your timing times up with the quarterback, that's all that matters. If your timing times up, that's all that matters. And he was a guy that said, look, you can do what you need to do on the outside to get open as long as you keep spacing, and 2, you're not off rhythm. Because if you're supposed to be 1, 2, 3 slant, don't be trying 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's Braylon? Where's he at? Here's a sack. Here's an interception. Here's a sack strip fumble. Like, you can't have that. And he was, as long as you can keep spacing and you can keep that timing, get open. Because that's what the NFL has become. Now what you're seeing, it wasn't like that in 2011. It was a little more strict. I mean, unless you were Andre Johnson, unless you were Calvin Johnson, unless you were Larry Fitzgerald, unless you were Chad Ochocinco, like, you know, me for a couple years, you know, then whatever. But, you know, you didn't have that freedom. Now everybody has the freedom.
Anquan Bolden apparently had some freedom too.
So that's the player?
No, he was a badass. There's no doubt. Tough as nails.
Quarterback originally.
Built like a fire hydrant, and John Morton really appreciates him. So much so that he calls him one of the best he's ever coached and compares a current Lion to Anquan Bolden. Listen to this.
Tell me why Anquan Bolden was a badass.
Just every day's the same him. And I always say, you know, him, like, he's just, Saint is just like Anquan Bolden to me. Every day's the same. It's all business. I'm here to work. I'm going to bring it every single down, whether it's run and pass. I'm going to make you work the whole game. I mean, when you say grit, I think of Anquan Bolden and I think of St. Brown. They're the 2 of the same guys.
Yes.
That's quite a compliment, isn't it? Because Anquan Bolden was a tough dude, man. When he played, I don't care where he played. Yeah. When he played, he was a tough dude. Baltimore, Detroit, you name it. He was it.
Funny Anquan story before I get into what Johnny Mo said. He's still playing for the Cardinals at this time. This is my first or second year in the league. We're playing the Cardinals. We're playing in Arizona. Mm-hmm. And we had a rookie DB by the name of Eric Wright. Eric Wright, he used to feel himself. He was on that USC team back in the day, 2003, 4, and 5. So anyway, he said something to Anquan Bolden after he had covered him on the play, and Anquan kind of slipped. He covered him. He knocked the ball down. And he said, yeah, you ain't like that. You ain't like that. I was in my head like, oh, man, not him. Because I know he's aggressive. He's physical. I said, not him. He looked at him, Shep, didn't say anything. They came back on the field. He terrorized Eric Wright the rest of the game. I'm talking about picked him up, slammed him, dropped him, caught passes, ran him over, like hit him late. He did all types of stuff to the point Eric came back on the sideline and said, man, what's wrong with that guy? Why is he so aggressive? What's wrong with him? I was like, you opened up the can of worms.
Yeah.
Like, this is who he is. His first game ever was at Ford Field. 220 yards he had on the Detroit Lions. He broke the NFL record for a rookie. Like, leave that man alone. But just getting into Johnny Mo's comments.
And a long time, by the way, 14 years. 14 years at that position, long time.
Everywhere he went, he was the same.
Yeah.
Like, everywhere he went, he was productive, whether it was in the beginning or whether it was at the end in Baltimore, he still was productive. Johnny Mo talking about him, like, that's what you see out of Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like, that's the same game. Whether it's a run or whether it's a pass, he's a get after the DBs, and when it's a pass, he's going to know where the ball is supposed to be. He's going to be exactly where he's supposed to be, and he's going to make plays. That tires a DB down. That tires forget the defense as a whole, just the secondary, it tires you down. If I'm a DB, I usually know that 80% of wide receivers aren't blocking. They're not doing all the extra stuff. So if it's a run play, what do you have? You got to play up. You can get out there. You can talk about what game you playing and who's gaming or who's on IG or blah, blah, blah. Amon-Ra St. Brown is not interested in what you're doing in your podcast. Amon-Ra St. Brown is not interested to, who's your flavor of the month as it relates to women. Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to bust your butt for 60 minutes, much like Anquan Bolden does, and eventually you'll wear a DB down. Because now he's so worried about you coming off the line of scrimmage, being aggressive and blocking. Oh, I forgot he was actually a wide receiver. I went for a block. This guy took off on a go route. Or this guy got behind me because I'm so focused on the physicality and the other thing that Amon-Ra is going to do or Anquan is going to do. I forget that these are actually elite wide receivers in the NFL. That's how you become a great all-around player, is have them worrying about something that's not even taking place.
Just 1 year in Detroit for Anquan Boldin, but still, I think 67 rocks, close to 600 yards, 8 touchdowns for him. That was the third most he had ever caught in his career, and it was just the 1 year. And by the way, he did it at an advanced age of 36 years old. Wow. He was built like he was 26, though. You know, that dude kept himself in unbelievable shape.
And also, too, like, he's one of those guys that could just do it all. Like I said, I mentioned quarterback was his first position.
Yeah.
His last game at Florida State, guess who played quarterback? Because their quarterback was hurt. Anquan Boldin played quarterback at Florida State, his very last game. I don't think people talk about that enough.
No, I agree. I mean, that's something that's completely lost. But one would look at Anquan Boldin, 6'1", 220, and Amon-Ra St. Brown and say, those are not the same receivers. What do you think John Morton's referring to there?
Speed-wise, they're about the same. Physicality-wise, they're about the same. The way in which they run their routes, he's got Amon-Ra St. Brown by like 2, maybe 3 inches, but they play the same way. Compact, they run good routes, they understand spacing. Like, how often do you see a play and you feel like, Amon-Ra St. Brown might be covered on this one. I don't know if there's a window. And then somehow 14's in the window, wide open for a nice catch. Anquan was the same way, so I don't think it has to be the exact height and size. I think it's just about the type of football, the brand that you play. They play the same brand of football. 1, they're very reliable. 2, they're tough as nails. Mm-hmm. They are as tough as nails as come. And then they're guys that you can count on. They lead. This is all Amon-Ra. He's the same as Anquan in this route. They lead. They're tough. They're clutch. They make the plays. I want them on my team. This is what Johnny Morton is talking about.
Anquan Boldin was kind of a quiet guy. I covered him for the 1 year he was in Detroit. You played with him, so you know him much better than I do. But he seemed like a quiet guy. And
so you pissed him off.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, well, that's the way it could be with just about anybody. Amon-Ra St. Brown isn't necessarily like that, though. Okay, so
different era. I think Amon-Ra is the same as Anquan. The only difference is it's a different era. This is the podcast era. This is the social media era. This is people being able to showcase their personalities on a regular basis and it be acceptable. Nobody's looking like, man, shut up. Just play football, like people used to say.
Yeah.
Now it's okay to do that. So I think you see Amon-Ra St. Brown show you a little bit more of who he is. I think Anquan would have done more. He's still quiet. Maybe not done as much. No surprise interviews today, right?
I was surprised.
Are you gonna toss those out like
I was surprised earlier. We were talking during the break, and oftentimes some of the best stuff happens during the break. And you were talking about being physical. Anquan Boldin was physical. Amon-Ra St. Brown is physical. You were physical.
Yeah.
Working out helps you in that regard. It makes you want to be physical as a wide receiver.
Yeah, it does. Like when I played, same. Amon-Ra, you see his father, Mr. Universe, a couple times over, kind of prepped T and Equiminius in that regard. We didn't get injured because we prepared for it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what they did. Like I didn't mind the physicality. Like I'm training for it. Like I'm doing the shoulders. I'm doing back. I'm doing bicep, tricep, getting my legs right. I'm working on the blocking sleds. Like these are things that I do inside the practice facility. Getting that blocking, make sure my hands are right, making sure my hands are used to having to block a safety or having to block a linebacker from time to time or even a DN. So in those games where I'm getting hit or I'm blocking, my hands are going through. I mean, this is why my hands are like this now. But I didn't get hurt. I didn't feel like I was cool. Let's play 60 minutes. Let's play a whole year of this. I can keep going, keep doing this. I don't think people prepare. I don't think the position as a whole prepares for 18-week season of blocking and hitting and tackling and getting hit and sacrificing over the middle. That's why you see a lot of injuries. Guys aren't used to that contact anymore.
I will say this. I remember covering Charles Rogers when
Charlie.
Yeah, when
rest in peace.
Yeah, when the Lions drafted him, and I'll never forget one of the first times I witnessed him. You know, after practice, he takes his shirt off. We're sitting there getting ready to talk with him and do an interview. And here's a guy who was obviously tall, obviously great speed. I was blown away by the lack of tone in his body.
Well, Charles,
he was not a big guy at all. He didn't look like a football player at all.
Yeah, when you're gifted to run 4.3 from the age of birth,
yeah,
you know, and you go to Saginaw, it's not going to make you block anybody, just send you on a go route so you can catch touchdowns, and then go to Michigan State where they're definitely not going to make you block, send you on go routes to catch touchdowns against Notre Dame in the back of the end zone. Like, then you get drafted in that right. Like, when are you going to the gym? What about your process made you realize the gym was important? This is no knock to to Charlie, who I knew well. It's no knock to him. It's just how he was coached, how he was brought up. It wasn't important because he ran 4.3. Right. You know when it became important? When you got to the NFL and that 4.3 didn't matter because guys knew how to hit. They watched film. They studied. They knew technique. And that 4.3 was great. But what can you put with?
So what does it cut it down to? The 4.3 gets demeaned to like a guy who's running a 4.5?
Yeah.
Okay, something like that.
It's the thought process.
Yeah.
Like 4.3 is only 4.3 if I'm not thinking. Like, you don't remember Tyreek Hill when he was first with KC?
Yeah.
He was fast on the deep over routes and the screen routes. But the other part of the game, the actual wide receiver, the minutia, if you will, in the middle of the sandwich, he didn't have that. And he looked like he was thinking, am I supposed to convert this, or is it man-to-man coverage? Am I supposed to be in the first window, or do I keep running on the go? Like, that's the thing. So when you're not thinking, you – but when you start to think, now you open yourself up for getting covered.
Can tell you this, Brad Holmes thought right when he drafted Amon-Ra St. Brown. 2021, he drafted him in the 4th round. There were 111 players taken ahead of Amon-Ra St. Brown. So he got that right. But he is disappointed on the one that got away. Who was that? And maybe
Jalen Carter.
Maybe there's somebody that you regret the Lions not taking. That list could be really long. Yeah. We want your feedback in the chat on that very topic when we come back on the Braylon Edwards Show right after we hear from BlackRock and Lady Jane's.
Hey, look, man, I'm sorry. That's a hill that I will die on. I will always be upset that we didn't take Jalen Carter, but that's mine, not yours. BlackRock, let me take you about. I'm looking for dinner plans that sizzle like I did that sizzle. Hit the BlackRock Bar and Grill, home of the steak and stone. Mention Woodward Sports and score an exclusive 20% off on just your food bill. Just for our listeners. See, that's what we do for you. We partner you with the right people. Actually, we partner with the right people so that you can partner with them too. Also, check out the new summer flavors menu with the pineapple brulee cheesecake. I love cheesecake. Why y'all didn't tell? Why you didn't tell me this was on here? I'm going to BlackRock tonight. You crack right at the table or crack into some crab legs, and don't forget to enter our giveaway. Scan the QR code above my head. You know what time it is. This will get you into the helicopter ride for 2 around the city, and if it's not that, it'll also enter you for the Big Ten home season open on September 14th. BlackRock, they're doing it big this summer. You want to be a part of it, eat a BlackRock.
I'd take that cheesecake, sit down in a Lady Jane's chair, get my hair cut, and rather than have the conversation, just continue to eat the cheesecake.
No, you get hair in your cheesecake. That's disgusting.
No, I won't. I'll eat it really fast.
You just won't chew it?
It tastes really good. Yeah, I'll just swallow it all up. Like my dog eats his food. You know what I mean? Just eat it before you could even start the conversation. Absolutely. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, though. We could sit down, relax. If you want to eat cheesecake, go ahead. You want to eat candy bar, go right ahead. You want to sit down and just talk to some of the lovely young ladies, go right ahead. It's really easy. You walk in, you sign in. Before you know it, you're out of the chair, you're full from eating your cheesecake in the chair, you're handsome, you're clean, and you're ready to start the day. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week, 10 till 8. Walk in anytime. It is wicked awesome, just like cheesecake.
So, you're a Detroit sports fan, huh? Well then, make sure you subscribe to all the Woodward sports pages on YouTube. We have Woodward Baseball, Woodward Pistons, and of course, Woodward Hockey. Get breakdowns, updates, and bonus coverage of all things Detroit. So pick your favorite sport and follow along with the best Detroit sports coverage ever made. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Ever wonder what goes on inside the game?
Deep ball's got a man and got him. Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Join Braylon Edwards and Shep.
Edwards has it. 10-5, touchdown.
On the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Ball looks in zone. Got Edwards. Edwards for the touchdown.
Where they dive deep into the heart of sports. Weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m., they're bringing you expert analysis, exclusive interviews, and a fresh perspective on the sports you love. Don't miss it, only on the Woodward Sports Network.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com. The boys of summer are ready to get back to the playoffs, and there's no better place to get your Tigers coverage than Woodward Sports. Join us all season long as we follow as our hometown Tigers claw and fight. This ball is gone. Boys are back in town. Feel the roar with Woodward Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. And until August 31st, 14 and 19, you guys work out for free. Part of high school summer pass, but that time is winding down. Looking at that watch, it's about that time. You need to sign up, have some fun, get out the house, get away from the screens. Mental health, as important, if not more important, than physical health. So we want to get you in the gym where there's no judgment. Planet Fitness is home to the judgment-free zone. Want you to come in, feel great, take your time, no critique, you just be you. That's what Planet Fitness allows you to do. And if you're not 14 and 19, well, you know where to get in shape at, man. Feel good, look good, play good, and play talking about life. See you guys at Planet Fitness.
Hey, and you guys already know you got to stay connected with Woodward Sports on all of our social media platforms, which includes Facebook, X, Instagram, along with YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. You got to be there for the latest sports news, live updates, behind-the-scenes action, clips, and segments of Braylon's breakdowns. You guys got to make sure you hit the follow button, hit the subscribe, hit the little bell button so you get every single alert. All right, guys? Don't miss out. Hit that follow button now to be a part of Detroit's #1 digital sports network at Woodward Sports everywhere. And I'm going to get that membership link. I see you guys in the chat. We'll get that membership link posted into the chat for you guys, man. Thank you for supporting Woodward Sports. Hit that like button, man. And we back.
Lions have made a lot of mistakes over the years. That goes without saying. All right? We've all lived through it. In Brad Holmes, we trust. I say that all the time because he's made a lot of really good picks. Excellent picks. Picks that you didn't expect, and they've been better than a lot of people ever thought they would be, right? It's a big reason why. He's the primary reason Detroit has been a little bit more prideful in their Lions team and their players. But even he admits he's made mistakes. You could argue that Hendon Hooker, at least right now, appears to be a mistake. It's a third-round draft pick, doesn't seem very comfortable with this offense, and it's just not clicking for him. You could make the argument that Enos Rakestraw, it might be a little too early for me, but he was a bit of a mistake. Second-round pick and has not really been much of a contributor.
Pascal.
Yeah. Josh Pascal, Levi Onzuworke. Here's a guy who, he's going to miss 2 years out of 5.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's a bust, but it's a second-round pick, and it was a pretty important pick, right? So maybe there's some mistakes. But Brad Holmes does admit there's one guy who got away from him. Mm-hmm. He wasn't necessarily distraught over it, but he was disappointed. Here's Brad Holmes on the one pick that he feels he wish he had back.
Last thing for you, we've been asking all the G's. We do something with players called one rep back. You get to do a play over from your career.
Okay.
With GMs, we ask, what's the scouting report you wish you had back? Whether that's when you were a scouting eye. So Gutekunst yesterday gave us Frank Gore. Veach gave us Fred Warner. Puka Nacua actually was Brandon Beane. So what, in your whole career, what's the one I wish I pounded the table for this guy?
I would. The one that I've spoken about most recently is Puka Nacua. That is, as my personnel staff, that's the one that I brought up. That's like, man, like, it's just, it is what it is. But you know what? If you don't recognize those things, if you don't self-assess yourself constantly, you can't grow and you can't get better, So everybody wants to preach, humility and being humble and all that. You got to be honest to be humble. And so you just have to be honest about, if you missed out on something, it's something you could have done a little bit better.
To the desk.
So I think that's great. It's honest. He was a 5th-round draft pick, so I'm sure here there are more than just one Brad Holmes as a general manager who wishes they had Puka Nacua. And I don't think that's an indictment on Jahmyr Gibbs, who was drafted in the 1st round, or Sam Laporta, who went to the Lions in that draft. But that's the one he wishes he had back.
Sure. Sure. If that's what you want to sit here and tell me he's the one that got away. I mean, we know Brad Holmes focuses on the 3rd and beyond. That's where he really makes his bones. That's where he really makes his deals. That's what we know him as, is finding those diamonds in the rough, whether it's Kirby Joseph in the 3rd, whether it's Amon-Ra St. Brown in the 4th, and the list goes on. I appreciate that. It's cool. I get it. I disagree. Like, how dare you get up here and not say Jalen Carter? I'm just saying. How dare you get up here and not say Jalen Carter? Saw what Jalen Carter has been since everyone said what he was going to be or the energy that he was going to bring to whatever team drafted him. I think it's him. If you want to say Puka Nacua because of what he's turned into, then sure. But it lets you know what he values. It lets you know how deep in the draft he goes. It lets you know how in depth he goes in terms of, I'm looking from pick 1, round 1, all the way to pick, I forget how many numbers it goes up to at the end of the 7th round, 289 or something or so. But it lets
he never had a chance to choose Jalen Carter.
He did. He absolutely did. He traded the pick.
Oh, I thought he traded back for Jahmyr Gibbs.
He traded back.
I got you.
But you still would have been able to get Jahmyr Gibbs. You still wouldn't have been able to get Brian Branch. You still wouldn't have been able to get 3 of those. And, oh, by the way, you would have had Jalen Carter as well.
I don't know if he would have still had a chance to get Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't know if anybody knows that because there were other teams reportedly afterwards who were really interested in him.
I don't buy that, though. I buy because when something looks great, when something works, people want to act like they were just as smart. Mm-hmm. So when the Jahmyr Gibbs thing worked, now I got other scouts coming from other teams like, hey, we were going to take him as well. No, you weren't.
Gotcha.
No, you weren't. And if that's the case, we still had 6 and 18. You still would have had Jahmyr Gibbs at 18 if you wanted him.
Who's the guy you would, not under Brad Holmes, but and this could be, there's no wrong answer here. So
for the Lions? In the history?
So I'm welcoming Ricky, I'm welcoming Kool-Aid. Anybody's opinion on something like this, and love it in the chat too. Just one, though. You can only have the one. Who's the one guy you were screaming for, you wish you had, that you never got?
Randy Moss in 1998. How the hell do you draft Terry Fair? But fine, everyone passed.
I actually remember that.
But everyone passed on Randy Moss. So fine, if you want to give me that. Look, in 2017, I was working with another station, another network, if you will, and I could not believe that the Lions took Gerard Davis when Dalvin Cook was on the board, and we had been screaming for a running back since Barry Sanders left. I knew what Dalvin Cook was going to be, at least in my estimation. Mm-hmm. I saw it at Florida State. I saw it against the University of Michigan Wolverines, who had a pretty good defense at that time. Dalvin Cook was the one I wanted. You got a linebacker who, shocker, Didn't work out in the NFL. Detroit Lions linebackers hadn't at that time. That's the one for me. I know people like.
No, it's good. Those are two really
Dalvin
good ones.
Cook could have been the running back that Matt Stafford needed, that offense needed, that system needed. He was a damn good running back. He still is a serviceable running back now. He's the one because Gerard Davis wasn't it. And he's just that's the one for me, and it's more recent.
Kool-Aid, you got one in mind?
I know one that just will always eat away at my soul. Is 2014, Eric Ebron and Aaron Donald was still on the board. That one will forever eat at my soul. Even I think we have to win a Super Bowl to be able to sanitize that from my system, man. I'm just being for real with you. That one was a tough one for me, and it's still. To me, I think it's one of the biggest draft blunders in Lions history. Yeah. That's one of the ones for me.
Yep, that was I'm with you on that. That's the first one that came to mind for me. Yep. Was they drafted Eric Ebron, who and I watch a lot of college football. Yeah. But I didn't watch a lot of North Carolina, but I watched a lot of college football. I don't remember Eric Ebron being this superstar tight end that everybody was clamoring for, and he was going to be the second coming of Tony Gonzalez. In fairness, and people were a little critical of me because I wanted Aaron Donald in that regard. In fairness, Aaron Donald is undersized defensive tackle.
Yeah.
Now, we know what he is now. I've got a good friend who played in the league for 8 years and says Aaron Donald's the best defensive lineman he's ever seen.
Yeah.
But he said that while Aaron Donald was still playing, I might add. So we know what he is now. When he was drafted, the knock, and this is why sometimes I can't stand the size and the weight and all that other stuff, the knock was that he was undersized, okay? And I could only imagine, he would wipe this complaint right off people's lips as soon as they started to say it because of his play, but they would say, great, Detroit needs a defensive tackle, and they draft a guy who's that big or that light. Like this is going to work out.
Two things. One, you're not going to miss. You have less of a chance missing if you draft a defensive player that you saw be dominant at the collegiate level. If you miss on that, I think maybe it's just me. I'll speak for myself. I'm not mad at you. You know defensive need. You know defensive line. You know what they mean to the game today. You took a chance on a guy that was damn good in college, a wrecking ball at Pitt. You took a chance on that. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Like, I'm not crying you a river over Aaron Donald not working. Eric Ebron, a tight end out of UNC, and I know him personally, so this is me throwing shade. I know him personally. Eric Ebron, a tight end out of a school that it's the truth. A tight end out of a school that you are not watching. Nobody's checking for UNC. How many great quarterbacks have they had in college that you still don't know their team? Like, we knew Mitchell Trubisky was a good quarterback in college. I didn't know his wide receivers. Yeah, right. I didn't know what was going on. Drake May's better than Caleb Williams right now. Apparently, I don't know his wide receivers when he was there because I ain't checking for UNC football. So if you're a tight end from UNC doesn't work, a lot of people going to be looking at you with the eyes like, what was that? So I just think just in a professional space, Aaron Donald made sense over Eric Ebron. But that size thing, Aaron Donald kind of allowed the next generation because Kalijah Kancey. Well, let me pick him up because you know what happened when we said about Aaron Donald and Dwight Freeney, Gerard Verse, another guy.
Yeah.
So I think Aaron Donald has made a way for people to say, I don't see that size stuff. I don't see the height stuff. If you can play, you can play.
Same team, Jared Verse. There were two other guys in that draft that I remember saying I really wanted. One, Detroit didn't get a chance to draft. That was Anthony Barr. He was the linebacker out of UCLA. I really,
Vikings, right?
He went to the Vikings at 9, just before Eric Ebron. The other guy, and I wanted Aaron Donald 1. I wanted Anthony Barr 2. The third guy I wanted was Zach Martin. And Zach Martin was the guard who he's an absolute beast and a mauler.
Yeah.
And people roll their eyes at me all the time, friends of mine, say, you always want the interior offensive lineman. I said, because I think that's part of your heartbeat, man. I think those are the guys you definitely want to make sure you get after. And I thought he would have been fantastic out of Notre Dame. All right, that's a really good one, though. I love the Aaron Donald one because that's as good as it gets.
And there's one here from the chat family as well. Aaron to the Stone says we could have had OBJ also instead of Eric Brickhands. I'm just saying that just to back up Bray a little bit more.
He retired today too, by the way.
Oh wow,
OBJ. He retired. Hung him up.
Yeah.
Hey, to further back up your point on the measurables thing with Aaron Donald. You know, that was one of the things that Brad Holmes talked about explicitly when he was discussing the pick of Brian Branch. There were certain measurables that it didn't jive with them. He wasn't one of those combine guys. But he said, look, man, when I put on the tape, this guy got on the pads, and you see him in the game, he's a football player. And I absolutely love that Brad Holmes takes that approach with this thing.
Yeah, I just think it's I think at the time, 6'1", under 300. Don't know exactly what it was, okay? 285, somewhere around there. People thought that he would be just engulfed by offensive linemen.
The eye in the sky, don't lie, is one of the best sayings for football. Sorry with football, now they use it in all sports. And what that means is film don't lie. When you turn the tape on, when you put the tape on, I don't care what the measurables is. I don't care if somebody's 5'8". I don't care if somebody's 6'4". I don't care if somebody's 4'5". I don't care if somebody's 4'2". When you turn that tape on, you see what you see. It's the same. You talk about comparing Isaac Tesla to Puka Nacua. You know what the write-up on Puka Nacua was? Said he wasn't going to make a team. Said Puka Nacua wouldn't make a team. He would be a career backup at best. Said the same thing about Cooper Kupp. Said the same thing about him. Saying, you know, he does some things well, but he's probably a number 3 or 4 if he can make a team. One of those guys was a Triple Crown. And the other guy, he's in line to be top 5 wide receiver in this NFL if he keeps the pace that he's going with Matt Stafford. So it doesn't matter about what a write-up or what they say about you. It's about what the film says, and then it's about whoever drafts that person, putting him in position to have success. And the Detroit Lions, they didn't care what it was about Isaac Tesla. They saw what they saw, and now they're putting him in position. One of the best offenses in the NFL, one of the best quarterbacks. Yes, I said it, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and they've been riding the wave over the last 3 years of offensive prowess. So you're putting him in a position to have success. That's what it takes in the NFL.
Can I bring up another guy? When I was a kid, 5'9", $185. If a guy played for Texas A&M Kingsville,
Dante,
and was 5'9", 185, and your team drafted him in the first round as a cornerback, how would you feel about that?
I mean,
5'9", 185.
5'9".
What does he run?
185.
What's his speed?
One of the fastest men in the league.
Oh, 100%. I got you.
Texas A&M Kingsville. Yeah. That is Darryl Green. Yeah. And Darryl Green's one of the greatest cover corners this league has ever seen.
20 years.
Yeah.
He still runs 4.5.
Does he really?
Darryl Green he just ran 4.5 last year.
You're kidding me.
BS, you not.
Isn't he 65?
Even better. Right. I'm just saying.
Is that possible?
What is he eating? Because that's more than just lifting.
Braylon said he's going to dust Cat Williams.
Oh, 100%. But I give Cat a lot of credit, though. Cat is fast. Cat's hood fast.
Yeah, right? He's one of the little dudes.
Cat, you get him out here on the street, take his shoes off, like, you might lose that race.
Cat was that little annoying dude on the court that just, he could hit every shot, always get rebounds somehow. I was like, bro, how does this little dude get rebounds?
I used to love watching those old school NFL fastest man competitions.
Me too.
It was Herschel Walker,
the superstars,
Rod Woodson, Haywood Jeffries, and all those guys back in there. He went easy.
Those guys were great because Rod Woodson was a track star. He was a national champion in track at Purdue.
He's a Olympic level sprinter. He's a hurdler. Yeah, he's won the NCAAs at Purdue. He's one of the most underrated players. I know he gets the credit he deserves, but he's one of the most underrated players, man, in NFL history. He's arguably all around safety. He's probably number.
He's one of the best.
He's probably 2 or 3.
He's one of the best. It's tough to rank them, but he's in that conversation. Yeah. Remember. He played
DB though too.
He did. He did what Charles Woodson and Ronnie Lott did, and I don't know if Carnell Lake did it. Mel Blount did it.
Carnell Lake, good call.
The thing that always impressed me about Rod Woodson, I think he blew out his knee the year Baltimore won the
Barry
Super Bowl.
Sanders did it to him.
Yes, he blew out his knee.
Silverdome.
And he said to Bill Cowher, right? It was Pittsburgh. It was Pittsburgh, not Baltimore. He was with Pittsburgh. He said to Bill Cowher, "Don't put me on the IL.
Yep.
Don't put me on IR." Injured reserve. It's injured list now. It used to be IR. Yeah. Don't put me on the IR. And he came back, damn it, and he played. He was a bad dude, man. Really, really good player. I actually worked with him couple of games for Big Ten Network and really enjoyed it. All right, you got one, Ricky? You got one of the worst?
Barry put him in that blender.
When it comes to drafting, that's the part that I'm horrible with. I'm not really good at picking from college because it's so hard to do it. I don't know how y'all do it.
Okay. Which players did you know you didn't want to hear though? Because I know Eric Ebron had to be one of them dudes.
No, I Lions back in that time, I didn't think they were so bad. I didn't think it was gonna matter either way. I just wanted them to play. I didn't care about what picks because we were doing so bad.
He was like, do
for so
something.
long. Like the Panthers and the picks back then.
Do anything.
Yeah, we always had top 3 picks.
So we've had some good ones so far. I'm going to give you one more for me, and I was criticized wildly on TV because I did the draft on the ABC affiliate here in Detroit back in 2012. Detroit had the 24th pick, and I was lobbying hard for David DeCastro.
Yeah.
And I thought, or Kevin Zeitler out of Wisconsin. David DeCastro was an absolute beast. And I said, you're going to be able to put him at the guard position, and you won't have to worry about a thing for the next 10 years. It was similar to Jeff Harding's. Jeff Harding's was so good at Penn State, and he could play guard or center, and he was effective. He was effective at both. But David DeCastro went, and he was out of Stanford, went right after Riley Reif. And I remember asking the Lions brass at the time, why Riley Reif?
Yeah.
Nothing against Riley Reif. He was a pretty good tackle, played at Iowa, obviously high level. And they said, because he can play anywhere on the line. I said, if you're going to draft somebody, why don't you just draft the best player at that position? And I thought it was one of two guys, David DeCastro or Kevin Zeitler. And they took Riley Reif, and he was a decent pro, right? Decent for the Lions and decent for the Vikings, but he wasn't nearly what David DeCastro was for Pittsburgh, nor was he what Kevin Zeitler was for any of the teams that he played on.
Two things. Tough. One, winner, chicken dinner. Finally got the update. We did win that golf outing. Second of all, here's an honorary
golf clap.
Appreciate that. Very, very responsible. Here's an honorable mention for me. 2005 draft. That was my draft class. I actually thought that I had a chance to go to the Detroit Lions. Matt Millen was talking to my father at my pro day. They knew each other from their time in the NFL and after. That was a potential move. Lions pick at 10, they draft Mike Williams. They had already had Roy Williams. They had already had Charles Rogers.
Right.
You know who went 11? DeMarcus Ware.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame. HOF. Sean Merriman went 12. Thomas Davis 14. Derek Johnson, a great linebacker for the Kansas City Chiefs. They had 5 guys that were damn near, HOF or close to it, right behind them in all positions of need. Meanwhile, you had 2 first-round wide receivers that you were doing nothing with at the time. So
that was one of, I think, everybody's biggest frustration in Detroit, and rightfully so. I was really frustrated by it as well. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But I remember this vividly because I was in Europe, calling NFL Europe at the time.
That's so dope.
And,
shout out to Shep.
That's so dope.
And Darren Woodson, who ended up being the Dallas Cowboys' all-time leading tackler at the safety position, was my partner. And we're getting ready, and the NFL draft is taking place, and the Lions select Mike Williams. And Darren didn't know me real well, but he got to know me pretty well then. He's like, man, you are really upset. I said, I am so frustrated right now. I am beyond myself. And I think I wanted Derek Johnson, the linebacker out of Texas.
He could play, man.
Huh?
He could play.
So that's who I really wanted.
Yeah,
so I was frustrated because I used exactly the example you said. And he calmed me down. He ended up being wrong, obviously. But he calmed me down and said, Shep, how are we going to cover you? You've got 3 one-wide receivers. All of them are big. All of them are fast. 2 of them are physical. How are we going to cover you? Look at it that way. You're going to outscore everybody. Now, again, obviously he was wrong, but the point was he was looking at it from the positive standpoint, and I was looking at it like the Lions screwed up yet again.
Neither one of you looked at it from this standpoint. Like, you wanted Derek Johnson because that was the better move for you. Like, Derek Johnson, I played against him in Texas. I knew him personally. Like, I liked him. He was the toughest guy on the Texas team. I thought Texas was soft, to be honest. Like, the Big 12 was soft. We scored 38 points on it. They weren't tough. But he was a player that I respected, loved, and he played that way for the Kansas City Chiefs his whole career. You got 3 number ones. Roy Williams is a known diva. He puts diva into the wide receiver work. Good dude. Good dude.
White gloves and all.
Like, he's not practicing. He's white gloves. Like, it's number one energy. Same with Charles. Charles is a number 1 wide receiver diva as well. And then Mike Williams,
who didn't play the year before, by the way.
Didn't play. So that's where I was going. Set out the whole year. Good call by you because of Maurice Claret winning that case. So he decided he'd throw his hat in there too. Ended up getting screwed. Both of them did. But you just have a room with 3 guys that only care about getting the ball, and then one of them blocked. Right. That was just a dumb decision. That was a dumb decision in my mind.
Hey, and you know, we got something from the chat here too. And that is a good one, Bray. The insight is just on point, man. Shep continues to tell y'all, this is like the only spot in sports where you get this type of breakdown, this type of insight. She loved me on payday. What a name in the chat says.
Oh, wait a minute. She loved me on payday? Shout out to that name.
That is strong. That is really strong. Yeah, that's a strong name.
My fantasy name.
Might be one of the best names I've ever heard.
I might like the show today for that one. Hold on, let me go in and hit this like button real quick.
That like button. All because of that name.
Smash the like button.
They go to the top of the line. That name goes to the top of the line every time they do it.
Every time. He brings up some painful memories. He says Joey Harrington at 3rd overall, or Ed Reed at 24th, or Dwight Freeney 11th. That was a heck of a draft.
That's tough because you needed a quarterback.
You did.
Like, that's tough.
But you don't draft for need. You're not supposed to draft for need.
Yeah, 2002 draft.
Yeah. You're not supposed to draft for need. I'm sorry. I mean, that's
I think
is a pet peeve of mine.
Is the quarterback a position that you can exclude from that if there's something worth? Because if you need a quarterback, you need a quarterback.
Yeah, but then look at what you might be losing out on as the texter just sent. I mean, as they sent into the chat.
I knew we knew Ed Reed was gonna be good too. That's.
I'm not gonna sit here and try to claim I knew who was gonna be good. Okay, so I'm not gonna sit there and go I knew Ed Reed was gonna be good.
Hold on.
I didn't know that.
You don't remember the infamous speech that he gave before the Miami game? In the hallway where he went off on his players at halftime, and they came back out there and proceeded to beat the doggone snot out of Miami, and then proceed to beat Nebraska like they stole something in the national championship. He led that team. That team is, in my opinion, the greatest. I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back further. I would say in my era, that was the greatest college football
100%.
team. Them and then that 04 USC team. They're 1 and 2.
Well, look, the inspirational speeches are all part of being a leader. That's fine. That's not why I'm drafting guys, but he was fantastic. I believe the other guy in the conversation at that time, and I was hosting shows, was Quentin Jammer. He was
Texas.
a cornerback, right? I believe he was a corner. And that was a consideration too.
Los Angeles Chargers at the time.
And they needed San Diego Chargers at the time. Well, they needed a corner too. Yeah. So I'm not saying that was the right pick.
He went like 5.
He went 5, I believe. All I'm saying is just because I need a quarterback, I'm going to rush to get one. I think it's a bad. And general managers have told me forever, and they've told you too. If you don't have one, you spend your entire career chasing one, trying to find one. And obviously the Lions made that pick, and it was the wrong pick, but that's a really good one from the chat. All right, we got to take a quick timeout. When we come back, speaking of quarterbacks, there is an injury to a quarterback in the division. Braylon Edwards' thoughts on how that may affect the division and the Lions, if at all. That's coming up next here on the Braylon Edwards Show.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Ever wonder what goes on inside the game?
Deep ball's got a man and got him. Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Join Braylon Edwards and Shep.
Edwards has it. 10-5, touchdown.
On the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
The ball looks in zone. Got Edwards for the touchdown.
Where they dive deep into the heart of sports. Weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m., they're bringing you expert analysis, exclusive interviews, and a fresh perspective on the sports you love. Don't miss it, only on the Woodward Sports Network. The boys of summer are ready to get back to the playoffs, and there's no better place to get your Tigers coverage than Woodward Sports. Join us all season long as we follow as our hometown Tigers claw and fight. This ball is gone. Boys are back in town. Feel the roar with Woodward Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
So, you're a Detroit sports fan, huh? Well then, make sure you subscribe to all the Woodward sports pages on YouTube. We have Woodward Baseball, Woodward Pistons, and of course, Woodward Hockey. Get breakdowns, updates, and bonus coverage of all things Detroit. So pick your favorite sport and follow along with the best Detroit sports coverage ever made. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
As you get ready for this NFL season, and you're watching Braylon's breakdown throughout the year, and I would
it's gonna be great.
that.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Who's the team that is the biggest threat to the Lions in the division? Last year we know it was Minnesota, 14 wins, nothing to sneeze at. Do you think it's Minnesota again this year, or do you think it's Green Bay or Chicago? Who would you say?
I'd say Green Bay.
Okay.
I'd say going into the season is Green Bay. Green Bay was the biggest threat to me last year, realistically. I think they had some injuries, just things derailed them. Injury to their quarterback, injury to a couple of their key positions last year, wide receiver, tight ends, some outside linebackers. So they, fell off a little bit. I think they are the biggest threat because I think their coach is a proven coach. I think, Kevin O'Connell is proven too, but let me just add to the minutia. Matt LaFleur has been 13-3 3 times. He's been to the NFC Championship already, so he understands that
He knows what it takes, right?
He knows what it takes. I think he is in love with his quarterback. I think he out of all the 4 teams, realistically, they have it together. Matt LaFleur's, Jordan Love, they have the chemistry of the last 3 years. So I think they are ahead of the other 3 teams, including the Detroit Lions and Jared Goff, at least now.
Wow. Address some wide receiver issues as well. And the guy who's right behind us here, and there is some news about Jordan Love, right?
Yep.
Jordan Love is undergoing a procedure on a ligament issue with his left thumb, okay? So it's not his throwing hand, but still it's his left thumb. He suffered the injury in Green Bay's preseason opener. The team is hoping, that's a key word, hoping Love can return to practice next week, and the Packers expect him to be ready for the regular season opener against the Lions at Lambeau Field. How concerned should Packer fans be for an injury like that, do you think, to their quarterback?
A lot, because you do not want to get out of the gates with a bad start. Now, look, I know it's on his left hand and he's right-handed. However, when he's under center taking those snaps, it's QB center exchange, you have to put both hands under the centers, to take that snap. And continuously snapping, the force in which these centers snap the ball with, it's a lot more than you think it is when you're sitting at home or in the stands. So the fact that it's going to hit his thumb every single play, that means he's going to start the play off with a loose handle, if you will, and put that much more pressure on the right hand and taping it and all the things. So I expect that to bother him early on in the season. That is not an easy thing. I've been with quarterbacks that have done that. The left thumb has had some complications, be it a minor procedure or be it no procedure, just taping it and going through it. You can see kind of like the wincing. You can see it bothering them. You can see if they're a little off on the pass because they don't have that guide hand to kind of help them hold that ball and formulate just their natural rhythm. So I'm not going to say this is going to be the reason they lose the first 4 games, but this is something to watch out for. If you don't get in the rhythm, like all it takes is center quarterback exchange, hit your thumb, ball fumbles, and you start to drive on the 12. Now it's a touchdown. Now you start behind Minnesota. Now you start behind the Chiefs because the same schedule that we have is almost the same schedule that they play. So you don't want to start bad, and having a thumb, that could lead to a pushed pass because when you can't hold it, you can't gun that thing, you're kind of pushing it. So keep your eye on Jordan Love. That's not good for them.
Any consolation for them knowing that Malik Willis is their backup, a guy who threw for a few touchdowns as a Packer a year ago, was much better last year than it was his first 2 years in Tennessee out of Liberty? Because you have a backup quarterback that is proven. You have a backup quarterback that has gone and played some games. Don't forget about when he was in Tennessee. He went on the road to Kansas City, and they almost escaped Arrowhead and beating Patrick Mahomes in a win. So he has some experience in this game, and that bodes well. But, this is Jordan Love's team. They're going to have the most success with Jordan Love. Malik Willis isn't somebody I'm like, oh, they got Malik Willis. It's kind of like, okay for a play, okay for a half. You're talking about a game or something more. That's not good news for them. Amen to that.
Yeah.
You said something interesting to me. I've always wondered your perspective and players' perspectives. When you say someone who is proven, what do we use as the criteria for proof? Malik Willis has played 18 games. He's thrown for 900 career yards. He's thrown as many interceptions as touchdowns, and he's thrown 75 completions.
Yeah.
When do we know? I don't know if there's a right answer to this.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a number associated with it. When I used to talk to baseball scouts and I said, when do we know? When is Ricky good enough? When is Kool-Aid good enough? 1,500 major league at-bats. That was the consensus. Not everybody said 1,500, but that was the consensus if you averaged it out.
Yeah.
I want to see him for 1,500 major league at-bats, not minor league, major league at-bats. So when people say, I'm done with Spencer Torkelson last year, I'm like, dude, he doesn't have that many at-bats in the major league. Take it easy, right? I mean, we want to rush our players all the way through. How do we know that a guy is seasoned or a proven player in the NFL?
When you're not a stopgap, when you're not somebody coming in just for a couple plays, if you're not somebody coming in because somebody got hurt, or hey, we'll start you, but we really don't have any options, and next year we'll be drafting a quarterback anyway. To me, you're proven when the team names you starter, and then you go about the season preparing as a starter, not worrying about, I'm only in here until. Like, this is just until. Because you don't prepare the same way. You don't have the same type of pressure. You don't have the same type of stresses. When the job is yours and there's nobody behind you and there's nobody in front of you, it's just you. You give me a season of that, then you're proven. But until then, Taylor Heineke is playing because we don't have a quarterback.
Right.
Insert, what was the quarterback? Case Keenum is playing because this guy is hurt, or we don't have that guy. So I think
Tyler Badgett is playing instead
there
of
you
Caleb
go.
Williams. Yeah.
So when you become the guy when it's number one on you, and now you're preparing as a starter, and now the game plan is going through you for an extended period of time, I think that's when you can say, all right, cool. You're vetted. You're vetted. We trust you. There's the proof.
And from a player standpoint, the confidence when you're in that huddle, Jordan Love to Malik Willis. It's no way would it be as steep a drop as you went from Jared Goff to Kyle Allen, for example. But there's got to be some guys looking around a little bit saying, all right, we might have to be a little bit extra careful, like a little extra precise when it comes to something like that.
I don't know.
No?
I actually don't know because Jordan Love, yes, he had the run 2 seasons ago.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, in that run, they beat the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving Day, so thanks for that.
Yeah.
But 2 years ago, they had that run. But remember how that run started? First 8 games were shaky.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have 8 good games. And then what happened last year? Oh, here's an injury, and here's some inconsistent play. Meanwhile, every time Malik Willis has stepped in for the Packers, he's been consistent.
Yeah.
He's looked cool, calm, and collected. And to your point, they've dialed it back a little bit. So he's not doing the same thing as Jordan Love. I'm a player on that team. I'm like, oh, we're good. Malik's in there. We've seen what he can do because they don't have Aaron Rodgers. You're not vetting it against somebody that has been that 3, 4, 5, 6 years. Mm-hmm. You're vetting it against a guy that's been there for, to be honest, an exact season. Half his first season and the second half of his second season. So it's like, we're good.
To me, that's fascinating. It really is. I always appreciate when athletes, professional athletes, can give us a little bit of insight to that because we always think certain guys, if you've played games, a certain number of games, and that you are automatically prepared. Or that you're automatically proven. And it does take some time. I use the baseball analogy, and I use Torkelson, so I might as well continue with it.
Yeah.
I said this to people all the time when they were frustrated at his lack of development, and I said, you understand, they rushed him through the minor leagues. I said, he had 788 minor league at-bats. Let me give you a context of that. Mike Trout had 1,127 minor league at-bats. And I'm not saying Torkelson is even close to Mike Trout, who's one of the greatest players that we've seen in our generation. I'm just giving you an idea. Those are things that catch up to you later on in life or later on at the highest level. It's hard to duplicate that stuff. So Malik Willis playing 18 games total, some of it mop-up duty, doesn't mean he's automatically prepared to take over for Jordan Love. That's all.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. Like I don't even know if this makes sense, but like Chad Henne, when he had to replace Patrick Mahomes for the first time and then the second time, he was already proven. You know why he was proven? Started with the Jacksonville Jaguars, almost got them to, I think, did get them to the playoffs as well. And then he also was with the Miami Dolphins. We drafted, played 5 years with their Dolphins team. Then he became a backup. He's a proven quarterback. So when the Kansas City Chiefs, when they're staring at Chad Henne, who's coming in for Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, they're not flinching.
Right.
Because it's a proven track record. It's professionalism. It's on film. You see the comfort level with the coaches and him. He's proven, even though he's a backup.
Yeah, that's really good stuff. All right, let's get to the mailbag here on a Tuesday on the Braylon
Find a way to
Edwards
get
Show.
Some Michigan love in there.
Shout
You do a good job of weaving that in there. I will give you credit. Even Detroit, too.
I'm a homer.
I mean, you were talking about Antonio Gates. Shout out to Detroiter, Antonio Gates. Boom,
what up, though?
Yeah.
What up, though? And you know what? Let's start this off right. Doughboy Steve, he says, I'm losing my tuna sandwich. Please get that Packer off of our screen. There you go.
Fair enough.
I hope you're happy.
It's fair enough.
I hope you're happy. It is gone.
That's
Shout
fair
out.
though.
Thank you for listening, though.
I would love to know what's in the tuna. 'Cause I love tuna fish sandwiches, but if you've got onion and you've got olives and you've got relish and you've got thyme and stuff like that, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
You had me with the first two. I'm okay with relish and thyme.
Are you?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm strictly mayonnaise and celery.
Okay.
So I've always asked everywhere I go,
Okay.
if I'm thinking about a tuna sandwich, I've got to ask what's
tuna
in the
sandwich.
tuna. Ask a waiter or a waitress that, and they'll look at you like you have lobsters crawling out of your ears.
I don't like tuna.
I don't
would
order
I know
tuna
that?
outside my house.
I don't know how
You
people
don't.
eat tuna. Like
Just gotta
tuna
make it
fish,
myself. I do.
You can't.
Yo,
you
tuna's
can't eat it?
delicious. I just have to.
I can eat sushi rolls with tuna. You give me spicy tuna.
Okay.
You give me something like that.
Gotcha.
But you talking about tunas like tuna fish that you smell in the house. I remember being a kid like that smell scarred me. Like I hate that smell. I don't know how people sit there, make tuna fish, smell it, and then have the audacity to inhale it.
It's delicious, man.
What is
It's
wrong with
delicious.
y'all? It's like same people told me, like, try pig feet. No, thank you. Do you smell it?
Yeah, I'm good on that.
You smell it?
Yeah, but I mean,
Shitless.
come on, that's a tough comparison. Pig feet are disgusting
True.
looking.
I'm just talking about the smell. Like I can't get past certain smells. That's why I eat fish for a large part of my. I eat shrimp. But I ate fish until I was like 24, 25.
Hey.
I hate the. I don't
Shout out
like
Lake Perch.
smell.
So for that smell, for me, it would have been liver and onions when I was a
Ooh.
kid. When my mom and dad made that, it's like I can't eat this.
That's like Doug. That was
I can't do it, man. I can't do it. I mean, and my dad would sit there and say, "You're going to eat it. I don't care what happens." And I remember vividly telling my father, "Dad, I swear I'm going to throw up if you make me eat it." He goes, "I don't care. You're going to eat it." And by golly, I threw up right on the plate. My dad did not miss a bite. He just kept eating. He looked at me and goes, "You're going to clean that up." And he just kept eating.
That's a Dan right there. They don't make them like that no more. That's a Dan right there. They don't make them like that.
You can clean that up.
You going to clean that up? Keep eating.
He kept eating, too.
Oh, man. Shout out to Michael Wary with the $2 super chat. He
$2.
says, pound that like button, chat. So, y'all got to listen to Michael Wary, man. Go ahead and smash that like button. And we do got a series of questions. People started sending in their mailbag questions from the beginning of the chat. We will start off with Ken Matthews. He says, what's the best rivalry you ever seen in any sport?
Michigan, Ohio.
I think he's throwing you a live, Braylon.
Come on, man. It's Michigan, Ohio State, man. For many years, they decided it was going to win a national championship. And it's gotten back to that also. Like, that rivalry just produced so many moments, so many elite players. I mean, so many storylines. I mean, I don't know how many countless Heisman trophies and et cetera. And then it's one of the few rivalries where each team is great. Like, each team is absolutely great. The tradition is there. Yes, it's Ohio State, but I got to be honest. I'm call it just the respect that I had, at least the Ohio State that I used to go to.
It's true hate.
Yeah,
it's
true
it really
hate.
is. I mean, and
100%.
not many like you have a mutual respect, and I'm sure you had mutual, but it literally is a real hate. I really like Army Navy. I don't think it has the same hatred as Ohio State, Michigan, but I've never attended an Army Navy game. In fairness. But when I was a kid, I remember when the Raiders and Steelers played in the AFC. Raiders and Chiefs was really good. But
The
Raiders and
Immaculate
Steelers,
Reception.
it was unbelievable. Now the names really helped it along, but we weren't guaranteed to see that every year. At least with Michigan, Ohio State, you see it every year. That's what I love most about it.
And then too, it's how they slated. It's the last game of the season.
Yes.
And then it's how you got here, 1969. We all know the 10-year war, Bo versus Woody. Like how it just it is the rivalry. Like I saw an Old State guy today. Like I was at the golf outing, got my bag. You guys saw my bag. It's it's a Michigan bag. Hard to miss it. Guy walks up to me and he's looking at it. And my dad had the same bag.
Oh, does it?
Only difference is it says Stanley's.
That's amazing.
100%.
So fire on the car.
Bag.
I like that.
I got the picture. I showed it to you. He got bag. He walks up. He was like, "Man, you got some stuff on your bag." And my dad, he didn't catch it. He's like, "Huh?" He's thinking, I'm already knowing where it's going. I thought it was a Michigan State person.
Yeah.
So I was like, I ain't pay that no attention. And if he wants to keep going, we can have a little quick, fun banter. But then he said, "Yeah, I'm from Columbus."
What?
Instantly, it turned into me being 18, going to Michigan, hating Ohio State. It turned into my dad prepping me to go to Michigan because he went to Michigan. It prepped me, like it put me in a space of hate. Soon as he said it, now I'm in the driver's seat. I look over, I'm like, first of all, when you guys can beat Michigan, you can come over to this cart that has 2 Michigan badges and you can talk about it. He said, "But we won that championship." I said, "But you ain't beat us."
Yeah.
He said, "But it doesn't matter. We won the national championship." I said, "Guess what? We did too. 2 years ago, but we beat you to do it."
Yeah.
I said, "Man, get out of here!" Like, but
remember,
but I was pissed though.
Hey, you and I,
it brought me back to like, man, hold on, is this AJ Hawk talking stuff?
You and I were talking last week about that very thing, and you said it doesn't matter, and that's exactly what he responded to with you.
That's 100% how he came in. I was like, what?
Yeah, Ohio State is the only logo I'll see out here. When I see somebody, I'm like, why would you even do that? Like, what are you doing here? Like, go south, bro.
I played golf last weekend. This dude had a bunch of golf towels in his pro shop. And he had a whole row of Ohio State. I said, just out of curiosity. Just out of curiosity, why do you have Ohio State towels? And he says, I don't know, I guess people buy them. I said, it's interesting. You got a lot of them there. But anyway, all right, more from the chat real quick.
Hey, we do. We have a lot from the chat, actually. Seeing to here.
Yeah, my apologies for not getting to these earlier. I get a little wrapped up in the football discussion with Braylon, and I need to do a better
football
job
season, baby.
of going back to Kool-Aid and make sure we get that chat, and we promise we will continue to work harder at that. Go ahead.
Hey, here's one. This is another one from Ken Matthews. Do the Lions need to play any starters in the next game? And then he specifically addressed it as well at Braylon, too.
I already told you. I think they should play in the preseason. So, I mean, if you're asking me, yes, the answer will always be yes. But in this particular game, you missed the Hall of Fame game, you missed season 2. It's getting closer and closer to the season. At this point, I don't know. At this point, you miss 2 games. No. Like, you're going to be what you're going to be. I don't think at this point playing in this preseason game really helps you. If you're afraid of injuries, stay that way. And just play them in the regular season, and we'll have a ugly first game like we did against the Rams. And when you sneak a win, and then you go into Tampa Bay, and you struggle, you lose, and then you get on the road, you win 15 out of 17. So this is where we are now. I wouldn't play them because I don't even think the players want to play. I don't even think that energy is there. If players don't want to play, like, that's when you get hurt.
Yeah.
Players out there trying to go through the motions just to appease the coach or appease the fans or appease people like myself who think they should play. Now you're not really going out there to get the real work that you're going to. So, no, I think at this point, keep them out. Keep the work that they're getting with the ones in practice at Allen Park or these scrimmages that they have.
Well, remember, they got the scrimmages starting tomorrow against
100%.
the Miami Dolphins. My guess is the starters play about a quarter.
Yeah.
On Saturday night at home against Miami. We'll soon find out. We've got to hit it. That's it for this edition of the Braylon Edwards Show. Thank you for taking some time out of your Tuesday to watch the Braylon Edwards Show. We invite you back here tomorrow, Monday through Friday, 2 till 4, for DetroitKoolAid and the man himself, Braylon Edwards. I'm Matt Shepard. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow on Woodward Sports.
Ever wonder what goes on inside the game?
Deep ball's got a man and got him. Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Join Braylon Edwards and Shep.
Edwards has it. 10-5, touchdown.
On the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Lamar looks in zone. Got Edwards for the touchdown.
Where they dive deep into the heart of sports. Weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m., they're bringing you expert analysis, exclusive interviews, and a fresh perspective on the sports you love. Don't miss it, only on the Woodward Sports Network.